What's up everybody, welcome to RCT, that's Radical Crafts with TG, and today I'm going to be painting these sketch coloring books. Okay, let's get into it. Now my sister did give these to me like a while ago, but I didn't use them. And so I'm finally using them, and I used a card to scrape off all the black stuff. I have no clue what the black stuff is, but I used that to scrape it off. And it took a while. I had to get some scissors because it was hard. And now onto my second one. Using the scissors was so much better, like so much better. But since this thing is old, it had so many lumps and bumps that I scraped off the whole thing and it turned white. Now I am on my third one. It is so hard to scrape all of this off with just scissors still, but the scissors made it so much better than that card. I actually started using a ruler. The sharp part on the ruler though, because the ruler wasn't sharp enough, so I decided to use some scissors because first of all it was a little longer and it helped better. Now I'm almost done with the last one, but it was so hard for the corner because I didn't want to tear off the whole rainbow layer. Okay, I'm done scratching off all the black stuff, and now I have my rainbow square. Okay, first I stripped black paint on each of the sides. Then went in and painted it with my little paintbrush. It actually was little, it was like really small, and it was kind of hard because I kept putting my finger in the paint. As you can see, I used a piece of my sketch coloring book and used it to paint as a guideline. About done with my last one, and I used gray to make my little mountains. I took a little bit of black paint and tried to blend it in with the gray to make it look more realistic. Now I'm not awesome at blending in colors, but black and gray already kind of blend, so it was pretty easy. I did not know you would be able to see the sketchbook colors through the paint, so I had to paint over it like so many times. Now, one of my favorite things to paint are definitely mountains because they just look nice and I love to make the lighting on them. Honestly, I'd just say I like making landscapes. As you can see, here is where I had to paint over it again. Also, sorry if this video is very glitchy because Rob is not editing my videos and I am today. Now using black and blending it into the gray. Now I used my gray paint for each of the other ones, did the same exact thing to the first one. As y'all know, one of my favorite parts is making the lighting, blending in with white, and now you guys might think this is weird, but I used a toothbrush to make the stars. And now on to the next painting. Here y'all see another colorful square. Okay, this one's actually pretty neat. So I used a round object to cut out a circle and then stuck it onto my rainbow paper. I used a pen to sketch out my idea and then used brown to paint it in. And yes, these are trees. And you guys are also going to be able to see my bad blending skills. Okay, blending time. I took lighter green and I just patted it onto the darker green and kind of blended it in because it looks better that way. Okay, so then I felt I needed something darker to go with it, so I took my darker paint and I decided to go in with a little darker green. At this point, it was looking very nice, and so I thought I needed a little darker color, so I went ahead and grabbed a darker color, which was brown, and I used that to darken it. Now I didn't want to mix too much brown into the green because then it would make the green look darker, and I didn't want that. And I wanted that green look, so I didn't want to mix too much in it. I went in again, in with the green, and I blended it in a little bit more because I felt like you couldn't see it much. So then I decided to get yellow, because yellow for some reason would make it pop more. And yes, this is a dark scene, but we did need some light spots because you would not be able to tell that these are trees. Now, I felt like I spent a lot of time on the first tree, but we are finally starting on the next one, and it was way quicker. And reason why the first tree took so long is because I was trying to find the perfect shades for it, so yeah. I felt like it would be nice that I put some white spots in it, and it actually did work. I just had to fill it in a little bit more with some green. After the trees, I decided to make bushes in the back. It was going to be filled with just grass, but then I thought, let me put some bushes in the back because those would actually be really nice to make, and so I did it. Plus, all you're doing is patting the board that you're painting on, or the piece of paper, and that was the easiest part. Now, I did go in with a little bit of yellow to make the lighter spots exactly how I did on the trees, then started on the grass at the bottom. Then I used a pinch of black to make the shade on the bushes. I so badly just wanted to leave the colorful background, but for the neat thing I was doing, I had to paint the background blue and white. To reveal the whole circle we were skipping over this whole time. We laid down a cutout circle sheet, drew a bird, then cut out the bird, and laid it on top. Now for the black paint, just use black paint and paint it over the bird. While I was doing this, I was hoping that I did not mess this up, because this is one of the neatest things I've ever painted. Well, not ever, but you know, one of them. So, finally peeling it off. It was actually hard. I peeled off the outside first, then peeled off the bird, and now for the big reveal. Just kidding, moving on to the next project. Also using a circle. Same thing with the other one, use that circle and use different kind of paints and just laid them right on top. I never know what order the color should go in, but it worked out in the end. Okay, time to smear the paint in, well, blending the paint in. Honestly, I think I put the colors in perfectly. They look right and it looks amazing. These colors are not my favorite colors to blend together. Usually it's dark colors like purple and blue, but today I was kind of trying to do a little bit different, and so I did get to get my blue and purplish dark kind of colors in with the blue sea. And I don't actually think that the sea really has a color. I'm pretty sure it's just clear, and clear to me is not a color. But I use blue because the reflection of the sky makes the sea blue, and sometimes whatever is in the water can also make it blue. Okay, now onto the last bit, which was putting on the stars, which I used a toothbrush again, just like the other one, and did that. Now for the moon, I did use the back of my paintbrush because it was easier, and yeah. Now peeling it off the paper to reveal the finishing. Time to show you all three landscapes.